Welcome into fantasy football start of the week. It is now going into number 14, and the fantasy football playoffs are just around the corner. Now, I know that in my league, we're going into the final week of the regular season. So, if you haven't locked in your playoff spot, this is a very crucial time. So, let's get right into the starts and sits of the week. Starting off with the quarterback start of the week is going to be Josh Allen. Josh Allen and the Bills are coming off of the bye week. This has been an up and down season for the Buffalo Bills, especially on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball. They do have the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead, so this is definitely going to be a tough matchup to go into. But we've seen in the past that these have been high-scoring shootouts between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. So I think that it could get to that. The Chiefs defense coming off of a rough performance against the Packers, letting up 27 points. As you see here, Josh Allen, he's projected 22.7. I think that this is definitely going to be a good scenario for Josh Allen. I think that this is going to be a high-scoring battle between these two teams. You know, in Buffalo, their secondary has been dealing with a lot of injuries in the secondary, and then the Chiefs' secondary just got gashed by the Packers offense. Excuse me. So I think that Josh Allen, I think that he's definitely going to be one of the key guys here in week number 14. So start him and plug him into your fantasy lineups this week. Next, let's go on to the running back start week. That is going to be Alvin Kamara. Now, there is some question marks of who's going to be the starter back this week. For the Saints, it's going to be Derek Carr. Carr's coming off of concussion against the Lions game, so who knows if we'll see either Jameis Winston or Derek Carr. Right now, it's probably going to be Jameis Winston, but nonetheless, whoever's the starting quarterback, I feel confident with Alvin Kamara. Going up against the Panthers, rush defense is done last time that the Saints faced off against the Panthers. Kamara had a good showing. Kamara coming off of a good showing was one of the bright spots for the Saints in that loss against the Lions. He had 2 touchdowns, over 50 yards rushing, good enough for 28.9. He also did it in the receiving game too. So I think that really, if you look at the Saints offense, that there definitely is some question marks with the quarterback position, the wide receiver. So, you know, Michael Thomas being out, Chris Olave, he did get injured in that. So who knows if he's going to be playing? But the guy that I do feel the most confident in the Saints offense going up against the Panthers. It could be a low-scoring game, but I think that Alvin Kamara, he should get a touchdown or 2 in this game against the Panthers defense. Like I mentioned, that's been struggling against the run as of late. Moving on to the wide receiver start of the week. I mean, we got to just ride with the hot end here. CeeDee Lamb. We saw this matchup a couple of weeks ago going up against the Eagles. The Eagles defense got absolutely torched this past weekend against the 49ers, letting up over 40 points. CeeDee Lamb in Thursday night's matchup, he really cooked the Seahawks defense, 116 yards and a touchdown on 12 receptions. That's what you want to see. I mean, he's definitely been one of the bright wide receivers. You want to talk about Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen. He's also been a top 5 wide receiver. But really like this matchup for CeeDee Lamb. It's at home. It's on Sunday Night Football, so definitely be tuned in. This one should be a lot of fun. This NFC East showdown in Dallas. I mean, his projected total, 24.2, says a lot of what he's been doing the past couple of weeks, the past couple of months, you could really say. So, really, you just got to ride with them in him. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, if you have him as your wide receiver 1, ride with your guy all the way into the fantasy football playoffs. But I really like this matchup against the Eagles secondary that's really been on their heels. Next up, let's go on to the sits of the week, starting with the quarterback sit of the week, Matthew Stafford. Now, Stafford and the Rams, they are on a 3-game winning streak, but as people say, all things must come to an end. Going up against the Ravens, the Ravens defense definitely one of the best in the NFL. The Ravens are looking really good right now, especially with the Jaguars losing. They're now the number 1 seed. But Matthew Stafford, I really like what he's been doing the past couple of weeks, coming off of a very good game against the Browns defense. The Browns defense ranks top 5 in fantasy. 3 touchdowns, 279 yards. But I don't think that's going to happen again. 23.96 fantasy points in week 13. He's only projected 13.9. So you can see there from the projections, you can see the Ravens defense is definitely a tough matchup to go against. So if you have any other quarterbacks on your bench, definitely start them. Or if you want to pick up a waiver wire ad, definitely do that. But I would stay away from Matthew Stafford this week against a really good Ravens defense. Next up is our running back sit of the week, Zach Charbonnet. Charbonnet is coming off of a really good game against the Cowboys. Had a lot of carries too, 19 carries. This is whenever their starting quarterback, not their starting quarterback, their starting running back was out in this game, Kenneth Walker. Now, Zach Charbonnet is listed as questionable. Hopefully, he's able to good to go. But even if he is, don't really like this matchup against the 49ers rush defense. I mean, the 49ers rush defense just gets after you, so I'd stay away from Zach Charbonnet in week 14. Another guy that I would stay away from is Jordan Addison. This is not based on the matchup. I do like this matchup going up against the Raiders. But a key guy, one of the key faces in the NFL, Justin Jefferson, he's coming off of the injured reserve. He's going to be active in this game. So as long as he's healthy, I think that Justin Jefferson is going to go right back into his role. Jordan Addison, he's definitely going to be a viable option as your wide receiver too. So I do like this matchup though, but I just think that the target share, and I just think that Justin Jefferson is really going to take back his role. Don't think that this is the bad start of the week, but nonetheless, I think that with Justin Jefferson coming back into the fold, Jordan Addison is probably going to get a fewer targets, especially with Joshua Dobbs. Last time we saw it wasn't a good game, but Vikings rested up on the bye week, going up against the Raiders. I think that their offense will get back on track, but Jefferson coming back, I think that Jordan Addison is not really going to fall off, but definitely going to see some less targets. So that is your starts and sits heading into week number 14 of the NFL season.